Over the next few moments, I want to share with you how lighting shapes exactly how you feel and how you are seen or experienced when you're live on camera. This is all about the emotional power of light. Now, do you notice that sometimes in life we tend to see that the best things that we have available to us are only noticeable when they're missing? If we take, for instance, the importance of electricity or the internet in most of our lives today, we only really pay attention to it when it's missing. Otherwise, we take it for granted. And to a large extent, this is how coaches and experts want to experience lighting and audio. Something that's great, but they don't want to have to think about it. They just want for the lighting, for the audio, for their studio to just work. Now, when you step in front of the camera, the light is not just about illuminating you. The light is also setting a mood. It's creating an atmosphere, and it's an atmosphere that not only do you feel, but you also want your audience to feel that atmosphere. And you'd prefer that they do not consciously notice the atmosphere. You want it just to, again, do its thing quietly in the background. Now, there is an emotional impact of lighting. And I want to talk for a moment about how it looks, how it feels. In other words, how to experience this without having to think about it, because that's really the crux of what I want to share with you today. Now, this matters really deeply to coaches because coaches who are experts, they want to be seen as confident, authentic, and trustworthy because these are the elements that they bring to the experience that the clients have with them. So as a coach, as an expert, I want you to just think about the feelings that you have. What is stirred in you emotionally right now when you go to make a presentation live online? Is it, well, I just have to put up with the lighting that I have? Do you do your best to try to ignore that lighting and say there is no problem? Or do you just use the lighting that's in the room? There's just whatever lighting is available. That's what I'll work with. Now, there is no right or wrong here. It's just for us to really identify what we do or what we don't want. And so for you, I just want to leave that with you as what comes up for you with that thought. Well, what coaches and experts truly want to feel is that their lighting is supporting them. They want to have certain types of experiences when their lighting comes on. And I want to just throw a few things out there about what I experience and what I think most coaches and experts want to experience. Maybe there's something like this going on in their minds. I would like to feel inspired to produce the content that I'm going to produce because I know I look good. I know that my lighting looks great. It's nice and soft. It's gentle. And it feels like it's a warm invitation for me to get up and speak. I want my lighting to create a sense of comfort so that I can really relax. Maybe you call it warmth. Maybe as a coach, you want to just feel safe. You want your lighting to create that sense of relaxation for you so that you could just be in your intuition. Question, can you say that is what your lighting does right now? Perhaps another question that you're saying is, I want to actually just feel really comfortable in this space. It's my space. I created it. I own it. I designed it. And it helps me to achieve a kind of clarity, which feels fresh. It brings out that level within me that I can hardly reach at any other time. And the light isn't really difficult for me to look at. It allows me to just genuinely express me. And it's that clarity that's going to help me and my message to come across with all the confidence that I have and to really feel natural to my audience. Perhaps you're asking the question of yourself about your lighting. I really want my lighting to feel calm, to help me to feel calm. And as a result, I can say, well, I feel happy doing this. I feel happy creating the content that I'm creating because I'm in the light, which allows me to be both creative, but the lighting itself is also functional. I can see what I'm doing in a nice way, and it doesn't bother my eyesight. I want the lighting to feel balanced, to feel soothing with both my eyes and my mind. I want my lighting to perhaps reduce some tension, which might be caused because I'm, trying to produce my best here today. But I don't have to worry about the shadows and hot spots and anything that's going to make me look a little bit shiny, so to speak. I want to feel calm under these lights. And as a coach, I want to feel centered. I want to feel present during these meetings and not bothered by what's going on around me. So let me ask you, does your lighting currently introduce stress when you turn them on, or does your lighting help you to feel calm and relaxed? Some coaches might be thinking when they turn on their lights, I want to feel authentic. Authenticity is important to my coaches, particularly my female coaches. And they don't want the light to feel too bright. They don't want the light to feel unusual. They want it to feel like it's a part of their home. They want to be able to work from home without feeling like this is something that just takes me out of that vibe. They want to feel real and relatable as a coach. They want to feel approachable. And perhaps the lighting is just what is available in the room. It's just whatever you have in that room. But do you feel authentic when you're on camera, when you're saying something which may not align with the lighting that you're experiencing, and you feel like you're having to pull out extra energy? You can't just be you. Well, that's not really going to go with what many of my coaches are trying to experience. You see, what they really want as a coach is to experience a feeling of happiness that they're creating content in a light which is not just creative, but it's also functional. They don't have to create lots of new things in their home. The lighting can be used anytime. And well-designed lighting helps our coaches to really feel comfortable in the space in which they are all the time. In fact, some of my coaches spend most of their time in that space, and they want to work from that space, but also feel like it's something that they own, something that they've put their attention into creating, something that feels natural, something that has that familiarity which encourages their creativity and helps their content to feel enjoyable and sustainable. Because ultimately, for a lot of my coaches, that's exactly what they're looking for. They want their lighting to feel at ease, to inspire them, and to allow them to create authentically, to engage with their content consistently. Because when they enjoy being in that space, guess what? They will create more within that space. They will feel more natural within that space. And that's really what a lot of my coaches are telling me that they want. So for you who may not be experiencing this at the moment, is this what you want to feel? The descriptions that I've given you about connecting with how you feel in your space, is this what you're looking for? Emotions matter. The emotions that we feel, that we experience whilst we're creating and serving our audience, this matters greatly to my coaches because they're doing something that they love and they're doing something that they enjoy, and it's a big part of their mission. They don't just want their audience to hear the words, they want their audience to feel. They want their audience to get connected to their presence, and they want that to happen naturally and visually. They want that to have a warm feeling, something that's nice and clear, calm and authentic, and also empowering for both the audience and the coach or an expert. At this point, your presence just becomes you. It's no longer something you have to put effort into. It's just you. And that's really what this all comes down to. In this short conversation, I just wanted you to once and for all make a decision about how you feel about your lighting so that you can actually do something real about it. Lighting is not just technical. Lighting is both emotional, and it's all about communication. Now that I've shared a little bit with you about how lighting shapes how you feel and are seen on camera, this is something I could talk so much more about, but I want to respect your time and I thank you for joining me. And I hope that as you have heard some hopefully encouraging words to help you move from a state of maybe I don't know how to achieve this to maybe thinking, yes, I can. I want to ask, are you now ready? Are you feeling ready? Are you moving to a point of readiness where you want to take the next step to perhaps moving into feeling more supported by your lighting, feeling more confident with the way that you look, how you feel when you're presenting, and to recognize that your lighting really does deserve as much attention as your overall message when you're presenting live from your home stage. So let's create the lighting that feels part of your home and not necessarily some addition that we've had to create, but something that feels functional and can be creative and inspiring at the same time. And this is why I want to invite you to join me for an upcoming event, which is just a few days away now. I'll put all of the links that are appropriate so that you can gain access to them. But what I want to invite you to is an event which is all about becoming the confident public speaker for the live online era, which is what we're in right now. We're in an era of being able to be live online, to speak to your audience wherever they are, from wherever you want to speak to them, and to be able to connect with them and to build a great relationship and find your ideal target audience from someone else's stage. Now, when you're ready for this, just go ahead and click the link that's below and join me in just a few days' time, where we'll talk about this in a great deal more detail, myself and the other speaker who will be there with me. Thank you very much for putting your really most important commodity that you have, which is your time. Thank you for sharing that with me. And I appreciate every time that you listen to one of my videos. So I'm going to encourage you to not only like these videos, but to actually subscribe and to share where appropriate, so that other people who you know who are looking for this type of material can get it, so that the system knows how to serve this to those people. I want to thank you very much for joining me. I want to see you next week at that event. But until then, thank you very much for joining me. And as always, I leave you in peace. See you soon.